What happens when the money in your pocket becomes worthless overnight? When the government's promises evaporate and your life savings can't buy a loaf of bread? Here's what they don't teach you in economics class. People don't just sit around and starve. They adapt, they survive, they build something new, something the authorities can't control and don't want you to know about. It's called the black market, the shadow economy, the underground system that emerges when official currencies collapse and the modern economy fails. And at the heart of this survival network, gold. Always gold. The financial elite and central banks want you to believe that if the money system breaks down, chaos is the only option. But history tells a different story. From Weimar Germany to Venezuela, from Argentina's crisis to today's economic uncertainty, people have consistently created parallel economies when official ones fail. These aren't criminal enterprises run by cartels, though those exist too. These are ordinary people, your neighbors, your family, trading gold dust on kitchen scales, using cigarettes as currency, conducting business in encrypted apps, doing whatever it takes to survive when monetary policy betrays them and inflation makes official money worthless. Here's why this matters to you right now. We're living through the early stages of a global economy shift that could make these black markets not just common, but necessary. The debt crisis is deepening, financial instability is spreading, and the cost of living is crushing millions while governments print money like it's confetti. Understanding how these hidden economies work isn't just fascinating history. It's potentially life-saving knowledge for the economic collapse scenarios that are becoming increasingly likely. Stick with me, and I'll show you how these systems operate, why gold remains the ultimate survivor's currency, and what you need to know before the next financial crisis forces you to make choices you never thought you'd face. Ready to see the economy that exists in the shadows? Let's go. When official money dies, something remarkable happens. People don't just give up and accept poverty. They innovate, they create, they build entire economic systems from scratch based on trust, need, and tangible value. Look at Weimar Germany in the early 1920s. The government printed so much paper money that people literally used it to wallpaper their homes because it was cheaper than buying actual wallpaper. A loaf of bread that cost 250 marks in January 1923 cost 200 billion marks by November. Insane, right? But Germans didn't starve en masse. They pivoted. Gold coins, foreign currency, even cigarettes and food became the real money. An underground economy emerged overnight, operating parallel to the official one that had become a joke. The Sabio Observer sees this pattern repeat throughout history because it reveals something fundamental about human nature and economic reality. Real value can't be legislated, only recognized. When the money system collapses, people instinctively return to what has held value for millennia: precious metals, tradable commodities, anything real and tangible. The financial manipulation by central banks can make paper worthless, but it can't make gold worthless. It can't make food worthless. So people trade directly, bypassing the broken official channels entirely. In Weimar, you might trade a gold wedding ring for months of groceries, or swap silver coins for rent. Trust networks formed, communities that knew each other, verified quality, and conducted business without government intermediaries who had proven themselves incompetent at best, destructive at worst. What's fascinating is that these parallel economies aren't chaotic lawlessness. They're actually highly organized, just outside official control. In every economic decline serious enough to break the currency, these shadow systems emerge with their own rules, their own pricing mechanisms, their own trust structures. The job market might collapse officially, but people still work. They just get paid in gold flakes, in barter arrangements, in alternative stores of value. The stock market bubble might pop, but people still exchange goods and services, just not with worthless paper money. This happened in Germany. It happened during various South American economic collapses, and it's happening right now in places where inflation has destroyed official currencies. And when we look at more recent history, the pattern becomes even clearer. Fast forward to Argentina in 2001, or Venezuela in the 2010s, and you see the same playbook with modern twists. When Argentina's debt crisis exploded and the government froze bank accounts, what did people do? They created the Mercado Negro, the black market, that became more reliable than official channels. Need dollars when the peso is collapsing? Black market. Need food when stores are empty? Black market. Need medicine, gasoline, basic necessities? Black market. It wasn't optional or fringe. It became central to survival. And gold? Gold became the ultimate insurance policy, with people keeping gold jewelry, small bars, even gold dust measured on kitchen scales to trade for essentials. Here's the irony that reveals the hidden finance truth. Governments publicly condemn these black markets while privately depending on them. In Venezuela, as hyperinflation made the bolivar worthless and the cost of living skyrocketed beyond imagination, the government officially cracked down on black market trading. Yet government officials themselves use these same networks to get goods, to move money, to survive. The economic system had failed so completely that even those running it had to rely on the shadow economy. The wealth gap becomes even more pronounced in these scenarios. Those who understood early and converted savings into gold or hard assets survived. Those who trusted government promises and kept. Bolivars lost everything. The black market isn't just about contraband or illegal goods. It's about fundamental economic activity that continues. When official systems fail, people still need to eat, to work, to trade, to live. When monetary policy destroys currency value and economic inequality becomes unbearable, when youth unemployment skyrockets because official businesses can't function, the underground economy absorbs it all. Farmers sell directly to consumers for gold or dollars instead of worthless local currency. Workers get paid in cigarettes, in food, in foreign coins. Tech companies that can't operate officially still hire people and pay them in crypto or stable foreign currencies through back channels. The global economy fractures into official, broken, and unofficial, functioning layers. And guess which one actually serves people's needs? This pattern has only accelerated with technology. Welcome to the digital economy version of ancient survival instincts. Today's black markets don't just happen in physical back alleys. They thrive in encrypted messaging apps, peer-to-peer cryptocurrency exchanges, and offshore stablecoin networks. When governments impose capital controls, when central banks destroy currency value through reckless money printing, when the economic uncertainty becomes unbearable, people find digital escape routes. Signal chats coordinating gold for goods trades, WhatsApp groups exchanging Bitcoin for local currency, Telegram channels where you can buy anything from groceries to car parts using USDT or other stablecoins, completely bypassing failing official currencies and the economic collapse happening in plain sight. And here's what blows minds. Gold hasn't been replaced in this digital age. It's been augmented. Physical gold remains the ultimate fallback, the asset you hold when even crypto feels risky. The 5,000-year track record of storing value that no technology can match. But now gold exists in hybrid forms too. You can trade digital gold tokens backed by physical gold in vaults. You can use gold-backed stablecoins for online transactions. You can instantly verify gold purity with smartphone apps before accepting it in trade. The financial elite understands this evolution. They're holding both physical gold and cryptocurrency portfolios, hedging against every possible scenario of financial crisis and market crash. Meanwhile, the average person often holds neither, keeping wealth in depreciating bank accounts earning 0.5%, while real inflation destroys purchasing power. The modern black market is simultaneously more sophisticated and more accessible than ever. In countries facing recession or economic decline, encrypted peer-to-peer platforms let people swap their dying local currency for stable assets instantly. Farmers can sell crops for crypto that holds value instead of local money that loses 50% overnight. Workers can demand payment in gold-backed tokens instead of worthless paper. And governments? They're losing control faster than ever, despite massive AI spending on surveillance and tracking. The automation of these underground networks, the decentralization of value transfer, the global trade in digital and physical assets outside state control. It's creating an entirely new economic system that operates parallel to, and increasingly superior to, the official one plagued by debt crisis, corporate power abuse, and farming crisis after farming crisis. This is the future of survival economics, whether authorities like it or not. So here we are, at a crossroads that's going to define your financial future more than you probably realize. You now understand something most people never grasp until it's too late. When official currencies fail, and history shows they always eventually do, there's a whole other economy ready to function. A parallel system based on real value rather than government promises. The question isn't whether you'll ever need this knowledge. The question is, when you need it, will you be prepared? Or will you be one of the masses scrambling to figure it out while your savings evaporate? Think about your current position right now. How much of your wealth is denominated in currency that could be destroyed by monetary policy decisions made in closed-door meetings at central banks? How much is in tangible assets, gold, silver, land, productive businesses, that hold value regardless of what happens to paper money? Do you have any exposure to cryptocurrencies or digital assets that could function when traditional banking fails? Have you built trust networks, communities of people you could trade with directly if official markets seize up? Because these aren't paranoid prepper questions anymore. They're rational financial planning in an era of unprecedented economic uncertainty, mounting debt crisis, and accelerating financial instability. Here's what I want you to do this week. Start small, but start now. Buy 1 ounce of physical gold or silver. Download an encrypted messaging app and learn how peer-to-peer markets work. Research cryptocurrency basics and understand how stablecoins function. Build relationships with local farmers, craftspeople, service providers, the kind of trust network that becomes invaluable when middlemen and official systems fail. You don't need to become a black market expert overnight, but you need to understand the landscape before you're forced to navigate it in crisis mode. And if this video opened your eyes to the hidden economy that keeps people alive when official ones die, if you now see why gold has survived every financial crisis and currency collapse in human history, then subscribe to this channel right now and turn on notifications. Because what's coming next goes even deeper. Specific strategies for building your own parallel wealth system, assets that thrive in both official and shadow economies, and the exact moves you need to make before the next market crash forces everyone else to learn these lessons the hard way. The black market isn't coming. It's already here, growing every day as more people lose faith in the official story. The only question is, which side of this economic divide will you be on when the system finally breaks? Choose wisely.